Hey, bro, can I ask you a question? Like, if I ask you a question, you promise to be straight up with me right now? Like, for real? Is YouTube dying? No, did he die? Like, bro, be straight up, did he die? That was a wacko way to start a YouTube video, and I've got popcorn in my teeth. This isn't going well. That's why YouTube's dying, by the way. All the YouTubers got popcorn mouth. My name's Monson. This is my second channel where I just talk and I try so hard not to turn off the camera, and it's difficult because I don't think I hate myself anymore, but I have a very hard time with him. I will say that. But I'm scared because everyone I know or meet keeps saying the same thing, which is, isn't YouTube dying? Like, it's sort of this rumor, and I feel like it's been a rumor for like years. Like, I've heard this for a while. Like, isn't YouTube, like, people are going, like it's this pack of like wild animals. Isn't everyone going to TikTok? Like, I don't know where people, I'm not like in a group with, you think me and PewDiePie are like hanging out at the pool? Like, what do you think, bro? Are we done here? I don't know what that meant at all. I would hate that pool party. But yeah, I thought it'd be interesting to look at this whole topic from the lens of someone who's been doing YouTube pretty much since it was born, which is a weird way to think. That's why I get so sad when someone says, is YouTube dying? I'm like, stop, he's only 16. Can you imagine that? Imagine going to a pool party with that 16-year-old. They'd be loud. Hi, I'm YouTube. Oh no. He's like a kind of conservative, but won't admit that he is. I don't want to make YouTube angry, but it's interesting to me because like, even like literally like my Lyft drivers, like they'll be like, oh yeah, I heard that like that's like not a thing anymore. Which like, you'd think that it would, people are so comfortable saying weird stuff to you if you're like a YouTuber or if you have like any kind of strange job. Like, I feel like if you're a social worker, no one's like, oh really? Like, so what are you pulling in per month? Like, people are always asking me what I make, like immediately. Like, whenever, by the way, in an Uber or Lyft, this is how it goes. They go, oh, what do you do? And I go, oh, I actually make YouTube videos. Because I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I don't want to talk about it because it's always a whole conversation. Sometimes I will just say, I work with computers, which like, not really true, but I do have one. I guess I like click upload on it. But they always like immediately, they like look at me, which it's like all of a sudden dangerous because they're like, wait, when you tell someone that you do YouTube for a living, what you're saying is, enough people want to see me that I'm making money, and they're like, I gotta get a gander at this gentleman and see what we're working with here. And they always are like, really? And they go, how much do you make? Like, almost like I'm like it's an MLM or something, and I'm like, oh bro, like, we're gonna get you a new car by the end of the year if you sign up with my code on youtube.com. But I'll tell them, by the way. People always ask me how much money I make. I would say it right now, but I can't figure out if it's illegal or not. I want to make a video just saying how much money I make because I think it's interesting and no one talks about money. But some people say you're not supposed to and YouTube will be mad. If enough people convince me, I don't know. I never really have understood why money is a personal thing. I don't see why it's any, like, the only reason that you'd be scared or uncomfortable saying how much money you make is if it's like too much and you don't want people to judge you because you're like not an everyman, or it's like too little, and like I would forgive that more. But otherwise, like, why aren't we all just like wearing how much money we make on a shirt? While I said that, I realized that that would be a very unhealthy way for the world to work. Anyway, I was thinking about it in general, and I actually did some research for because I just Googled, like, is YouTube dead? Like, I was just curious, like, what would happen if I looked that up. And you know when you Google something and the first, it said, is YouTube dying 2022? Like, when you look up a celebrity from the 90s and it's like, David Spade now. Everyone wants to know, like, what happened to David? Let's look, show me your face, Dave. It's like the Lyft driver. What's going on with Davey? I don't know what I'm saying. David Spade's been famous his whole life. Baby David Spade was a star. Does anyone know who David Spade is anymore? Is David Spade dying? No, but I looked up, is YouTube dying? And by the way, this is reminded me of like the whole idea that it's been a rumor for so long. Everyone's moving to the, and people used to say this about Vine. Everyone's going to Vine. Well, look what happened. Vine died on the river. Tarzan. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm trying so hard. Let me just say, I've been having an especially weird week. I will say I've never had a normal week. I've never like, it's never been Sunday and I'm like, that all made sense. And I didn't feel scared at all. But this has been a more than usual. Anybody else? Raise your hand. How are you, by the way? You watching this video. What are you doing? What shirt are you wearing? Let me see your oh, that's funny. My brother ate my homework. No, I'm not being sarcastic. That's a funny shirt. Your brother ate your homework. He didn't, right? It's a joke, yeah. I'm not being sarcastic. I think that's a funny idea that your brother would eat a piece of paper. Okay. But I looked up, is YouTube dying? And all these websites, articles from like 2016, is the platform over? YouTubers say, blah, 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 everyone's going to this place and by 27. And then I looked up top websites in the world because I was just curious numbers-wise where YouTube is at. So I looked up, it was like top 10 websites on Earth. And as you could probably guess, number 1 top website in the world, ShawnMendes.com. Oh, you're shocked. The man wrote Stitches and you're shocked? What are you, the Dumbo? What are you, a big elephant that you can ride at Disneyland? You think Mendes isn't pulling in billions? No, number 1 is Google. I don't know what that, oh, Google. Okay, I looked up website. Yeah, that's Google. Google, I can never pronounce that. Is it Google? Why am I being stupid? Number 2 is YouTube. So and this brings me to my point. YouTube is not dying. To me, the YouTuber is dying. The idea of the YouTuber being a celebrity who walks the red carpet, who writes a book, goes on tour, is number 1 on the New York Times bestseller lists, like goes to the Teen Choice Awards. The YouTubers aren't getting slimed anymore. The YouTuber books have hit the 75% off rack at Target. Let me just say that much. And I was there when it was like very impressive and very valuable to be a YouTuber. Now when I tell someone I'm a YouTuber, they kind of look at me sometimes like, still? Almost like I'm sinking in a ship, which kind of hurts my feelings. Like when I tell somebody that I'm a YouTuber or talk to a friend about how my YouTube life is going, number 1, everybody says, how much money are you making? Number 2, for some reason, always feels the need to tell me, oh, I don't really go on YouTube anymore. People, if you're my friend, can I just say, you don't need to tell me you don't watch my videos. And I kind of get it because I have YouTuber friends and I don't know what you're scared I'm gonna give you a pop quiz or, oh, sorry, I haven't been watching your I'm like, I make like, at least lately, I've been making like an hour a week almost. I would be literally more insane than I actually am if I expected everyone I know to watch me talk for an hour. I don't even watch these videos. I'm not lying. I put them into an editor program. If I make 3 clips, I just click export and I hope that I didn't like fart without realizing it. Like that's all that happens here. I've tried watching them. If I'm in like a really good mood and I like meditated, which really only happens like worst case, like if I really need it. I hate meditating. I hate anybody that tells me to meditate. There's like 3 things you can say to somebody when they're doing badly that shows that you're not listening and you have control issues. Number 1, meditate. Number 2, tell them to read a certain book. And number 3, tell them to exercise. And none of them are wrong. All 3 are very helpful, but when you say that to somebody after they vent to you, you're not trying to help. I mean, you are trying to help them, but it always feels to me, and I've been on the other side of this too, like you're just sending someone out. It's like, oh, that's really sad. Here's a number of it. It's like you texting your best friend, like, I don't know what to do anymore. Here's the suicide hotline, you know? God, that got so scary and dark. Why can I make a video for 7 minutes without saying the S word? But yeah, YouTube is the number 2 website. I wrote down, I wanted to stay on topic here. Oh, I wrote down my notes literally for this video. They just say Tyler Oakley, but I know what that means. You ever just write Tyler Oakley down? I'm guessing you watching this video with the My Brother Ate My Homework video, shirt. What's the difference between a shirt and a video? What can I say? Just talk. I always try to detour into something funny. It isn't. I comment on how it isn't. Then I think of a story about another thing I said that wasn't funny one time. Oh my God. I love myself anyway though. But Tyler Oakley. You ever talk about Tyler and then you get sidetracked? Stop. I follow him on Twitter, and not to like, not to say anything out of school here, but he never followed me back. Met him a couple times. I think we hugged once, and he even tweeted me a couple times. I'm not not angry. I'm just disappointed. And by the way, I never follow anybody back, but if I do follow someone and they won't follow back, I will hold on for 12 years. If you unfollow me, I will hold on just so when you look and go, oh, I unfollowed Drew, I feel kind of bad. Oh, wow, he's still following me. He really never gives up. Like, even if somebody hates me, I still want them to know that I won't give up on them. Do you relate to that at all? I like your shirt. Anyway, he was tweeting the other day, even though he doesn't follow me. What a weird thing to care about. He was tweeting about how somebody made a TikTok about how he like isn't famous anymore. And it was like mean. It was like straight up like horrible. Why do I keep saying straight up? I need to replace it with something more interesting. Babadook. He was like Babadook. Someone made a Babadook TikTok. The Babadook made a TikTok channel and they were saying, isn't it crazy like how much, I've never seen anyone fall off as much as Tyler Oakley. He was getting this many views and now it's like 5,000, which number one, crazy that we live in a world where, and I relate to it, 5,000 strangers looking at you is like a failure. Number two, name one person on planet Earth besides maybe 5 ever that have been the exact same amount of famous as they've always been, and it never waned and never like went up. The graph was just like straight, it just like rocket and it never stopped. That doesn't happen. And to me, it's always like, it's very telling on the person saying it. Whenever someone tweets me or Tyler Oakley, the boys, as I like to call us, saying like insulting somebody by saying they're not famous anymore, all you're doing is showing that to you, it's an insult to not be famous and popular, and to you, those are the most important things. I know it might seem like it being a YouTube, and I do get insecure, and so does Tyler. I need to stop speaking for Tyler. If he sees this, okay. But it is not the most important thing to everybody on planet Earth. It is not. I feel like the world is something about social media. I feel like like TikTok, it acts like it's this place for like the cool indie, like hipster kids, when it's just a bunch of people like more than I've ever seen in my entire life, following every trend and being terrified to like watch the wrong TV show. Now we're all watching this. We're watching Euphoria. We're talking about it. We're watching a video about it. We're following the stars on Instagram, reacting to the reaction to it. It's like this whole thing of like, how do I literally saw somebody tweeting about maybe I should just watch Euphoria because it seems like less annoying than just reading about it. And that is, I know this is like not the most important issue in the world, especially right now, but it's so annoying to me. Like, I feel like more than I've ever seen, everyone really just wants to be in like the cool table and in the cool, it just feels like a big cafeteria. And that's what it reminds me of when people say like, isn't YouTube dying? It almost sounds like in their voice, it almost sounds like they're saying, should I stop? Like, what do I do? Like, I want to do the cool thing. To me, it's like, I go on YouTube. I sit at my computer. I'm one of these people who has a desktop. I like feeling like a hack. I think I've said this before. I like feeling like a hacker in a movie where I'm like, I feel like I'm doing something important. I've got like a monitor. I feel like that's nerdy now. Like everyone just like lays in their phone, in their bed on their phone. I've got like a setup, like a gamer, except my game is just Wikipedia. Which is important, really. We should all be on Wikipedia. We should all just, I should be reading more important things on Wikipedia. I'm always just like reading Adam Levine's early life section for the like 17th time, when I should just check out like World War II. If I knew what was good for me, before leaving the house again, I should just skim the World War II Wikipedia page. That could teach me some stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I felt bad for Tyler Oakley. Coming back around to that, because it's just so stupid. Like the idea that you have to be as famous, a website has to, and that's the other thing, it's like this hyper consciousness of how popular everything is. And I was thinking about this the other day, like Marvel fans, like people who are into superheroes, not all of them, but there's like this type of stan and like of pop artists and stuff where they're also heavily invested in how much money something makes. They're like, yeah, Spider-Man 7 made 20 billion. Like, what do you care? What do you care about Tom Holland? Like, what is going on with his checking account? Or this, I've talked about this before, but this idea that like, if you are a stan of a band, them going to #1 on Billboard means that you are too, and they tell you like, please like stream my song, and like it becomes this thing where you're pretending that it's a back and forth when really they're getting rich and you're just doing free promo for them, which is like a positive experience if it makes you feel good, but I feel like everyone's just getting taken advantage of a little bit, like acting as though you're a part of these like multi-million-dollar things. I'm getting ahead of myself or whatever, but I think about that idea, the obsession with whether YouTube is dying or not goes in line with this obsession of whether something is cool or not, and while you're watching this video, you probably are can't even finish all of my work. While you're watching this you're looking at how many views it has, and that's like part of it. And I was thinking about that the other day, like tell me if this theory resonates with you at all, because it means something to me, but I was thinking about it in bed the other night, not to be graphic, but I was laying down with my top on. We were doing shirts that night. What? I was trying to make a joke. You know how people like play basketball and they say shirts versus skins? I was joking that like getting in bed is a basketball game and I was shirts, but no one else was there. I guess my cat was skins. I don't let my cat in my bed anymore, and I feel bad because I have allergies and my chest will itch like crazy. It's like I'm Tyler Oakley over here with an itchy chest. That is not true. Okay, by the way, I have like, I feel like it's relevant before I get into this theory. I do have my first sponsor on this channel, and I'm actually kind of excited to talk about this because tell me this doesn't fit pretty well with what I do here. This is an app called Quilt that is sponsoring this video, and the app is basically a thing where you go in and you have conversations with people about like mental health or your career or like money, like all the things that I kind of like to talk about, and I feel like a lot of social media doesn't allow for, and even like a YouTube video, I'm trying to do like the version of YouTube that feels like you're actually, I don't know, like it's not just called like the cancellation of blah 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 or laptop review. Why am I hurting laptop reviewers in the middle of my sponsorship? The point is, it's an app, you go on there, it's audio only, and you go into a room, they call them quilts, and people are having conversations, and I did it the other day. They told me like you should try it out first, and I was kind of nervous. I was like, what if I don't like this? But I go in, and it was this woman named Kecia, and it was like 11 a.m. There was only like a few other people in there at that moment, and all of a sudden I'm listening to Kecia talk to some woman about like her day and like what's going on and what she's afraid of and what she wants to get done. And then I hear Kecia go, oh, I see that Drew, just want to say welcome. This is where we like take accountability for the day. And then they finish with that person, and all of a sudden they're like, okay, Drew, tell me what's going on. And I'm like, all of a sudden thrown into this thing. It was like very exciting. It felt like very warm. She's like asking me what I'm doing. I was like talking about my allergies all of a sudden. She's like validating my allergies. Listen, I'm not guaranteeing you that Quilt will validate your allergies, but I can't imagine you go on Quilt and they're like, yeah, right. Yeah, oh, sniffing and sneezing, I'm sure. It was like a very positive environment, and it made me feel kind of like, it was in the morning, so it made me feel kind of good like for the day, and like, I don't know, I felt good that I get to like have that be my sponsor. And like the link is down there if you want to download Quilt through me, and like definitely use that to like show them that you got it from me, because that helps me. But yeah, it's just a place to like, you don't even have to put your video, there is no video, you don't have to talk, you can just listen to people have conversations. Like if I go on there right now, I guess I'll show it to you. Like this is Quilt. It's like, oh, okay. Sorry, my phone. Okay, intimacy coaching, daily check-in. Like these people are talking right now, and if I clicked on it, I would just hear them talking, and then I could talk too. And yeah, and I'm gonna be in this woman Kecia. She does it like almost every day, I think. And today's Sunday. I'm gonna post this on Monday. Talk to me, because that'll be off topic. But I will be in there. Let's say Tuesday, March 8th, at 11 a.m. California time. It's called Gentle Daily Accountability with Kecia. Kecia, 11 a.m. and I'll be in there if you want to do Quilt with me, because it's a nice thing. And I had a good experience. I literally was talking to this person about like, she was validating all my feelings and like what I want, literally just like stuff. Like it was a weird moment too, because I I had to go on this because I was gonna do the sponsor, and I was thinking about vacuuming and how I've been enjoying vacuuming. I swear I turned on the Quilt app. This sounds like the weirdest sponsorship. This sponsorship was a psychic moment for me. Spiritually, I tuned in. I swear I clicked on it and I heard the woman go, so I think I want to vacuum today. And I was like, I'm meant to be here. I know that sounded very fake, but I do like the Quilt app, and go on it. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. My theory for the internet is, I feel, and maybe someone said this before, it feels like a bunch of little rooms where you, like when I click on a YouTube video, I was thinking about this the other day, because like I made a video about how I'll never download TikTok, and then the next day I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a shot. And I started feeling myself get addicted to it, and it was very exciting, and I was just like, I feel like TikTok is very human. Like that's what's cool about it, is all of a sudden you're just like watching somebody being filmed at an Arby's, and then you're just like watching a kid like say their deepest secret. It's like, it's very kind of like, you never know what you're gonna get, so I get the excitement of it, but I don't like how the comments, like it feels like people being their grossest selves and stuff. But I found myself doing this thing where I would click on someone's page on TikTok and it shows you like how many likes or views each one has, and I found myself going to the one with the most. And first off, I was very disappointed because I was like, what am I doing? Like I would only click on the one, and almost like I would skip through if one didn't have enough comments or views, because it felt like it had to be this thing where I was in a room with other people. And number one, I was disappointed because I am such a hipster at heart. I feel like growing up, like using the internet, I was always looking for that song that nobody else knew and that TV show that nobody else is watching. And these days, when I start watching a TV show nobody else sees, I start telling it, oh my god, please watch this. I need someone else to like, nobody I know watches this. And I know half of that, the reason for that is because I want to connect with people. I want to show people the things I love and the people I care about. I want to have an experience with them, and it's fun to watch a show with someone. But I think half of it is like, it feels lonely, and like I don't know what to do anymore when I'm watching something by myself. So I was thinking about the internet as like these rooms. I want to go into the TikTok with the most comments because it feels like I'm there with somebody, even though I'm just sitting hunched over, like hurting my, what do you call it, your spine? No, there's another word for it. My scallop? That's a type of seafood. Watch Drew figure out what a back is called. Anyway, scoliosis? I think it's okay. Listen, I was on a roll there, and then I started thinking about backs, and a lot of things came up. But I don't know, like I feel like, let's say I go on a YouTube video with, you ever gone on a video with like 50 views, and it almost feels like, where am I? Like I'll look, there's no comments, I'll almost just leave. I'm like, what do I do? Like the fact that they took away dislikes on videos, it almost feels like they took away part of the experience, because part of the experience of watching this video right now is how many views it has and the comments you might be scrolling through, or the TikTok you're watching while you're watching my video, or whatever is going on, which I'm not offended. Honestly, play my video while you watch a TikTok, see if I care. But you better know that I'm gonna say something interesting. I don't know if I've talked about that before. I always do think about somebody watching, and kind of like as a Bo Burnham thing, like in his Inside thing, if you haven't seen it, he goes like, are you even watching me right now? Like, are you on your phone? And I think about that, like that moment where you kind of look up from what you're doing, because I always try to say things that I imagine somebody's looking at their phone and they'll go, oh wait, he's actually getting into it here. Like if I go, and now I'm going to say how much money I make a month on YouTube, I bet you'd be like, buy TikTok. Anyway. Do you see my theory with going into rooms? I was just disappointed with myself. I was like, why am I wanting to watch the most popular TikTok? I might connect way more with the one that has 1,000 views. Why do I think that the one with 5 million views? And I get it, like an algorithm is very like tempting and helpful. Like if you've had the worst day ever, if you are in the middle of or just recovering from a panic attack, give me an algorithm. I don't want to choose a movie. I don't want to choose what, make me, there is something there, you know, like it feels, it's just similar to somebody recommending you something they know that you'll like already so you don't waste your time, except that the thing is a robot, but also not a robot. It's just a combination of everybody at once's likes and interests, but then it mushes into this thing where you're just getting like, when I go on Spotify, it'll show me a song that it knows that I'll like, and it does this thing where it's like, I do like the song, but it feels, I can tell that it's just the song that it's the catchiest. It's kind of like the watered down commercial sort of, like literally you'd see this song in a commercial version of my favorite genres. You know what I mean? And like the songs that Spotify, I have found some stuff that I actually enjoy through like algorithms, but think of the connection and the excitement you feel the times that you've just stumbled up, like for real, like gone to a thrift store and just like picked up a DVD and put it in your, you've never done that. No one has ever done, you're like, you lost me. But you know what I mean? Like when you really dig deep for something, or like someone's like, I'm gonna play you this album right now, and we're just going to like sit there on a bed and listen to it. Like that is so much more rewarding because of what you had to do, you know? Anyway, I don't know. I've been thinking about algorithms once again, and my British son named Algorithm, or actually he's gonna have a different name every video, and he's not talking today. He's shy. He's mad that my last video, somebody else was there and he felt nervous. I wasn't nervous, I just didn't know it would be your voice is getting, like, are you going through puberty? I'm 21. I did that 7 years ago and it was great. You liked puberty? I liked it. It wasn't bad. Anyway. I keep saying anyway because I actually don't know what my next topic is. Is YouTube dying? In general, by the way, I realize that saying that, it's kind of like when you're hanging out with somebody and they're like, I don't have any friends. And you're like, hi, we're literally Netflix and chilling right now. Like, what's going on? I'm such a loser. I feel like nobody cool wants to hang out with me. Me just sitting there like, totally, yeah, anyway. So I get it if I'm constantly like, I don't know, is anybody watching you're like, hi, literally, I watched you for 12 hours in a row. Can you appreciate me for 1 second? I do. I told you I liked your shirt. I wrote down some other stuff to talk about. How long has this been? 26 minutes. What a smart person I am. Let me turn my camera only films for 30 minutes. I don't get it. It was like $1,000 and you can't pull off a movie? 1 sec. Yeah, okay, but in general, I don't know. I think that TikTok is clearly like more in line with how people's brains are forming now and what you need. Like YouTube, it feels a little bit like a turtle compared to like the rabbit that TikTok is. Like it's just kind of what people are requiring to not lose their minds right now. So I completely get it. YouTube is kind of something, it's more like you're sitting down at the library, which is a crazy thing to say about literally a website with its own algorithm and craziness to it. But like TikTok feels like a big party with like flashing lights and seizure warnings, and like YouTube is kind of like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and read a book. Yes, I just compared watching YouTube to reading a book. But if TikTok is a movie, did I just say movie? I feel like this video in particular, like I almost sound like I'm slurring my words. I get scared sometimes that it seems that way because I try so hard to speak, I guess, quickly, and then I do not finish a lot of my words, or I like, you can see in my eyes sometimes while I'm saying a sentence in these videos, I'm like, I just said 3 of those words incorrectly. Like I'll be like, I was looking at a light bulb. I was looking at a light bulb the other day, and I know in my head, like, it's not called a light bulb. It's 100% called a light bulb. But that just took me 2 steps. I don't have time to say light bulb. Okay, I wrote down some other stuff. I write down notes for these videos and I'll think, oh, just glance at this. And then that's what it is. It's just, I write a whole novel. I never get to it. Oh, I wrote down texting X. I had a horrible panic attack the other night and my ex just happened to be awake. That's bad news. But I texted and I was like, I'm not doing well. That's all. And like immediately, like they were there for me because it's like a long-term, just this friendship now where I love them. And I said, I was like not in my right mind, and I was just like, I am feeling so much pain right now from this panic attack. I feel like I deserve it. Like, do I deserve pain? And they were like, what do you mean you deserve pain? And I was like, I don't know, never mind. And they go, no, because I've been thinking that too. And it was like not what you want to hear when you're like, I feel like I'm dying. Wait, good point. I feel like I deserve pain. Wait, you might be onto something with that. But I went, and I said something. You ever say something over text that you're like, wait, good point. Like sometimes I'm like, why isn't this a book? Like why aren't my texts, I mean, I know why, because that would be humiliating, but why aren't a select, like I'd say 350 texts I've sent since I was 11 have been like incredibly poignant. And I was like, I feel like I deserve pain because I think it's a more comforting thought. Like the amount of pain I'm having right now, it's more comforting to imagine almost that I deserve it than that it's just random, because that is terrifying, that there's just, that this amount would happen for no reason is scarier than to just rationalize it with, well, I must be a bad person, because that almost makes more sense and is kind of, in a twisted way, sort of calming. Like, oh, well, at least there's a rhyme and a reason. Like, if it's just, you know, which obviously, like, what is there? Because if you believe that, that's the problem I have when people believe in, like, signs and whatever it is, like, all the kind of magical thinking about, like, this is meant to happen, and if you manifest this, the only problem with it is then you have to believe that somebody who dies when they're like 4 years old, like it was meant to be, or they didn't manifest them. You know what I mean? People say that, and maybe that's the wrong way to look at it, but I feel like you either believe that everything is something, or you believe that it's complete randomness. And yeah, both of them scare me a lot. But either way, I think maybe I've brought that up before. I always go to that example. I know it's the darkest thing you can say, but like somebody dying at a young age, like YouTube. The little boy, 16-year-old named YouTube, who's just started applying to colleges, and now he's, oh no, YouTube, please. Oh God, YouTube, wake up. YouTube, you're about to take the SATs. But I always think about like, you know, the premature death. Like why, how does that fit into the entire philosophy of like manifesting and astrology and the universe being there for me? Why is it there for me and not that person? You know what I mean? It's a very like egocentric way to look at things, but it also is beautiful, and I don't judge anyone, and I look up my horoscope every day. Not every day, I do it like once a week. Anyway, how are you doing? I feel pretty good today. I've been having, I'll do these like 3-day breakdowns when that sounds like some kind of a rap. I'm about to do a 3-day breakdown. I had a panic attack. Okay, that felt very much like the Lonely Island in 2008 maybe. That kind of like thing that guys were doing I feel like Bo Burnham still kind of does that, but like the joke is that you're rapping, you know what I mean? I guess his new stuff wasn't as much rapping. Okay, that was his old stuff, and he's apologized profusely. I'm nervous. Okay, one second. Okay, yeah, I don't know. All I really wrote down is that what am I gonna do with my entire life? That's a question. And that's what I think about when somebody says YouTube is dying. I'm like, I'm at this point, and maybe I've talked about this to death already, but like, I am thinking about my whole, like, you know, when you turn like 26, it's like, it's not this, you kind of feel yourself leaving that space of like, I'm just figuring out my life and kind of dating, and like it's getting to the point where my friends are getting married and choosing like, this is the thing that I'm trying to build up my retirement money with. And like, I'm thinking about YouTube. Like, can you imagine like putting it all into like YouTube videos, like this thing that is completely dependent on you right now not deciding you don't care anymore, or YouTube deciding that you're not going to recommend, because a lot of times it's not even personal. People will be like, oh, I don't know what happened, I stopped watching you. I guess YouTube stopped recommending. It's like, oh God, like I am just putting so much stock into YouTube recommending you my video and you not going, I'm over this. And that is not, you know, that is not the most confident I've ever been about anything. So it's scary when someone says YouTube is dying. I'm like, what? So I'm gonna go on TikTok, and how do you make money? People just become pop stars, I guess. That's the only thing, is that you have to like promote your song through TikTok, and like, I don't know, do you make a video about like being like, this is my news, and it has to be like a whole thing?
Something went wrong. Please try again.
Who? What do you mean? My phone, was that Siri? I literally have, that scared me so much. I literally thought that a little woman, did you hear that? I honestly think that was a good point though, because I was like coming to a lull with this video in general. I feel like that was a sign, and I'm speaking about manifesting confusing me and feeling untrue to me, but that felt like a sign that I need to just hang it up. I think that this is enough, because all I have left in, who was that? All I have left in this video is I wrote about how I was watching Shrek at the doctor's office. I mean, I just thought it would be funny because I was sitting down, and this doctor's office is always playing little kids movies, but no one, have I talked about this before? It's a chiropractor's office. The last time I talked about a chiropractor, by the way, I got this comment of someone basically saying that all chiropractors believe that they can cure autism and that like I'm like, no way. This guy does not think that. He literally cracks my back and is like, won't even say one word to me. I really don't think that a kid is coming in. He's like, I'll make you like everybody else. I don't think so. Anyway, taking all the nice comments I get, and the one thing I walk away with is, you think that I believe in curing autism with bone cracking? But I was sitting at the chiropractor's office, and they're always playing like, they were playing Shrek the Third. I think I figured out that it was Shrek the Third. I am so glad, can I just say, that I walked away from Shrek after Shrek 2. I was like, Shrek 1, Shrek 2, great. Let's not ruin this. I will not watch Shrek the Third. I was not interested. How many have they made now? Anyway, it was gross. I hated it. I couldn't really hear it. There was no kids in the waiting room. I don't know who it was for. Everyone was just like looking at each other. Literally like two people. You ever see two people having a conversation in like a waiting room and you kind of wish you were a part of it, but then I feel like it'll start to feel like a movie or something where people are talking on the subway and it's like, oh, shut up. People don't get along. Like I don't want to be like, hee hee. I never want to make jokes with people because I feel like it's too corny. I'm like afraid of being corny or something. But anyway, I just heard this woman talking to this guy and she was like, that's why I bring my crosswords. And I just thought there was something so wholesome about that because they were not enjoying Shrek either. I know that, I love that you, by the way, can I just say, besides the fact that your shirt says my brother ate my homework, not being sarcastic, very funny. I love that you're watching me talk about watching Shrek at the chiro and you have not given up on me. Because I get so worried that like everyone is just like, peace out the second I say the S word. There's 2 S words being mentioned in this video. Can I talk? No. I like Shrek. I know you do. That's why I didn't want to talk to you today, because I know you'd start freaking out. I think I just started speaking Britishly. I knew you'd get restless leg syndrome if I even said the word donkey. I can't help it. Donkey's so funny. Stop. Anyway, I was watching, God, I really need to go. I'm sorry, something happened. You are not staying on topic and no one cares anymore. Siri! Shrek wasn't funny. He was so annoying, and all of a sudden, this is what I really wanted to talk about. In Shrek the Third, imagine just scrolling to this part in the video. In Shrek the Third, all of a sudden, I didn't know this happened, Shrek is around a bunch of other Shreks. I guess they're just ogres, but they seem like alternate versions of him. And I don't know why, but it gave me goosebumps. Like I felt disturbed. You know how some like kids movies, they'll do weird stuff with the animation where all of a sudden, like I saw Wreck-It Ralph 2, and all of a sudden they made a giant Ralph out of a bunch of little Ralphs, and it literally it made me feel like I was like my nails were on a chalkboard. Like I hated, I'm sorry for saying that, but you know, I did not like that there was like a strong Shrek, and he was like, one of the Shreks was, I swear to God, one of the bigger Shreks like slapped Shrek on the butt. And I was like, what is this, like why did they make this movie? Okay, well I'm gonna go. That movie also, I realized that kids movies, literally the entire plot of it, the way that they keep you entertained, I was just sitting there on my phone. Every like 3 minutes, if you watch a kids movie, they play a song and it just becomes, and I remember when I was a kid, I would like run around and play with my friends and I would sing a song while I was doing it, because every like kids movie, it's like, it's all about like, da-na-na-na-na, like hanging out and you love and you're just like playing football, like, it's never gonna stop and it's never gonna be the same. And it's just like this, like, you know what I'm talking about? There's always that scene where they're like running and there's I have to go. This went off the rails. Shrek, you ruined my life once again. Did anyone see Drew Monson's new video? really imagine if my videos were talked about like Euphoria is. Like, oh my god, I can't believe, at 47 minutes in, like seriously, all the plot holes? You're gonna talk about Shrek for 10 minutes? With all the plot holes. It's the season finale and he's talking about multiple Shreks? What? Okay. I'm gonna sing the names of the people who give me $30 a month on Patreon. Check out Quilt app, and if YouTube is dying, let's go down with it. Like, I don't know. Enough people are here. Like I've talked about before, I do get a little sad sometimes. Did I miss my big opportunity? I feel like I'm doing the best stuff I've done and the least amount of people so far are seeing it, but there's something exciting about that. And if you're like me or not like me and you don't click on the most important TikTok and you do value that part of yourself that like feels more connected to the thing that, because I see comments that are like, I don't want you to put this on your main channel because like it feels more special this way. Then let's run YouTube into the ground. I don't care. People still go on there. That's the thing. It's like there's just less big YouTubers. It's just kind of like 10 people who make videos about bad movies. Oh my god, I literally just did that. I literally talk so much SH about people making videos about bad Netflix shows or whatever. Here I am going on a Shrek rant, except mine, I don't have as good of a camera. They always, literally, it looks, people who make videos about like bad Netflix shows, I'm like, where did you get that camera? Steven Spielberg's house? Like, why? You could make this with the, it's like the most HD thing. Okay, I need to go. I'm gonna go on Patreon if you want, I'm gonna sing the names of the people who give me $30, but also I'll talk more on Patreon about my horrible week or, I don't know, something personal. I wanted to talk about how somebody upset me over text, but I feel like it's too personal to say on here, and I wanna get people's feelings on it. So that'll be on Patreon for probably 20 minutes, and yeah. Dawn Love, Pandora, Haven, Polka Trail, Ball Pre-Car, Novia, Cali, Abbey, Top Stars, Danny, Laura, Nicole, Tabitha Ross, Gretchen, Ariel, I have to figure out a way to get this all in. I cannot. Okay. Christina Bayo, Niall, Lindsay, Stickney, Bianca, Louise, Stacy, Jacinda, Angel, Louise, Becca, Maisie, Becca, Psych, Delia. Why did I say Becca twice? I guess if that's a free Becca. Any other Beccas out there? What, that one of them was for the actual Becca, and one of them's for you. Not that you're not actual. Okay. Eden B, Scooter Claire, Sarah Jane Pierce, Lonnie M, Riley Radford, and Cavodo, Marin Shahan, Andrew Monson, not me, Domla, Lucy, E.T., Olivia Smith, Kenya, Haley, Curie Lux, Kathy Gans. Okay, there's only one. I don't imagine there's anyone else named Kat. So Kathy Gans did get 2. I'm sorry to everyone else. Kathy Gans got 2. Winona, Ellen, S. God, what am I, Shawn Mendes over here? I'll be in stitches. Ha ha ha. Shrek, are you okay? I'm fine. Are you Shrek? No. Then why did... I'm sorry.